Welcome to this second half of this workshop, this yoga and meditation workshop, which me and Rekha, we call it Mindful Sundays. So the half of it was yoga, the second half of it is meditation. You are almost, I think every one of you is new to this class. Maybe very briefly, let me tell you about myself, so that you know who's this guy sitting for the next 45 minutes in front of you and talking a lot. My name is Dhyanse. I grew up in India. I've been living here in Switzerland, Germany for the past 10 years. I learned meditation from my father at the age of 5. But thankfully I was not a part of any religious or cultural or this culty systems that are all prevalent in India. It's so easy to get, once you want more spirituality out of your life, it's very easy to follow a particular system or to follow this or that. I did not grow up with any of those systems. The only thing that I grew up with is this art of meditation, which I learned. And over the last, I would say 20-25 years, I have put together for myself more than 10,000 hours of silent sitting, which just simply means that I have put in effort to go deep into myself and had reached to a point where I realized that I could share some of it with you and bring this into a format which is more relatable to life here, because here we are not those people who would now go to the Himalayas and spend thousands of hours meditating. So to the context of life today, why do we need it? How do we bring it in? Is something which I picked up as a task for myself. And since last few years, I've been doing this with whatever is possible in this part of the world. Since last 8 months, I'm running every Monday sessions in Basel. Now we have a community of more than 200 people over there. Those sessions are so far quite liked. So me and Rekha, we decided to also bring that flavor to the session here, and hopefully when we go into this journey together, every session we learn something new, because it's something that is building up over a period of time. It's not everything that I could give you today in this session. And meditation is something which can be entered into from several different directions. And in every session, my goal is to give you one direction and see whether you can enter into the state of meditation from that direction, whether you like it, whether this is relatable to your life or not. If not, we move on and we, in the next session, learn something else. If what you see here, what you do here relates to you, forget everything else and just focus on that. Try to repeat that as a practice over a period of time and see if it is something which is bringing the promises that it contains. When we do yoga, what you did in the last 1 hour, you started with the movements of the body. So yoga starts with the body, and with the movement of the body, you move the mind. And then when you move the mind, you also slowly and slightly move your consciousness. That is why you feel good about the entire movement, the entire sequence. But the trigger of it, the driver of it, is your body. You start with the body, which also relates to your mind, which relates to your consciousness. Meditation is a completely opposite movement. We start with the consciousness. We learn how to move our consciousness, our awareness, and with that, our mind moves along. With that, maybe our body becomes still. But the movement is completely opposite to the movement of asanas. So we start with the consciousness. In this session, we are going to learn how to move our consciousness. And this movement of consciousness is something that I cannot do it for you. For the movement of the body, you can watch Rekha doing it, me doing it, or other people doing it. And while you just watch it, you do it along and you move along. But with meditation, I can only show you the track, but you have to move it You have to move on that track. You have to go inside of yourself. You have to take that 180-degree turn from the outside to inside and go inside of yourself and move within. From the outside, when you have your eyes closed, I do not know what you're up to. If you are thinking about something else, if you are completely lost in your thoughts about tomorrow or about yesterday, I do not know. So it's up to you to decide when you go, are you going to go inside of yourself, do the introspection, do this inward journey or not. I can only give you the track, how to move into this inner path. And this is known as self-inquiry. This is known as introspection. In our daily busy lives, we do not spend even a minute turning inwards and really reflecting what we're doing, why we are doing what we're doing, what does this really mean. So in this session, we will try to use few minutes just out of all that we have in our life to just take this moment and go within ourselves and do this inquiry, do this self-introspection. And while you do this self-introspection, it's not only a psychological, mental process. This is where your awareness, your consciousness is directing, is digging your inner layers of your own self. And when you do that, you start to understand yourself better. You start to put yourself into a position where you are more at peace, where the source of who you are is there. And the closer you are to that source, the closer you are going inwards, the better it is. So for this session today, Rekha already introduced the theme. The theme is a perfect life. Now, what does this theme means? Because when we go into this introspection, we could take several different triggers. For example, when people go on this spiritual journey, they take a trigger of, who am I? They constantly ask themselves this question, who am I? And they meditate over this question for hours and days and weeks and years to come to a point where they understand what does this question lead to. So this theme of a perfect life, we will use this as a trigger today to understand what does this mean for us. So we will ask ourselves what, for every person, this could mean completely a different thing. We have our own stories, our own versions of what we want in our life. So we go into this introspection. First of all, we ask ourselves, from my own perspective, what is a perfect life? And we give ourselves this moment and really think about it in as much vividness, in as much detail as possible. What do I mean by this perfect life that I am chasing for, that I am moving for, that I am constantly in movement for? Then the second thing, which is even more important, we will not get into whether I will get it or not. We will straight away move into a visualization that I have it, that whatever I want, whether you say I want 10 million francs or you want a house, you want more love, more better relationships, whatever you want, sum it up and assume that I'm sitting with this genie here. You know the story of Aladdin and genie. I hope everyone in every culture you have this story where this Aladdin has this genie, and when you rub the lamp, then the genie comes out and fulfills all the wishes. Just for a moment, to make it playful for yourself, assume that the genie is there, and whatever you would want, it will come true. And it has come true. So in the visualization, when you go into this visualization, go into it with full conviction that whatever you had dreamed of, wanted as a perfect life, has come true, has actually happened. When you subject yourself into this visualization that what you actually are wanting has come true. For example, if you want money, just imagine that you have that money lying in your bank account right now, those tens and hundreds and millions of dollars, or I don't know how much money are you asking for, or whatever you want. Visualize that it has happened. Why do we do that? It sounds also weird, funny. Why do we do that? In all the spiritual teachings, there was a common tradition, or there was a common notion that become desireless. If you pick up books from Buddha or from any other spiritual tradition, there is always this notion of, once you become desireless, the life would be amazing, you would be always happy, there would be bliss, there would be this and there would be that. But nobody told you how to be desireless. How do you become desireless? Either you again renounce the world, go to the mountains, go to Himalayas, leave everything and just meditate for I don't know how many thousands of hours, clean your system, clean your mind, clean your energies, don't get involved in any of the worldly things. Either that's the way to be desireless, or we take a shortcut. The shortcut is just to first of all understand what does it mean to be desireless, whether being desireless is worth or is it just a waste of time. So how do we understand what does it mean to be desireless? We simulate it. How do we simulate it? We visualize that all that we want, all whatever we are wishing for as a perfect life has come true. Because when you do that, when you sincerely do that, it puts you into a simulation of desirelessness. Suddenly, there is nothing that moves you anymore. You realize that whatever was moving you, whatever you were wanting, whatever you were wishing for, all the movements, all your actions which you're taking in your daily life, all those movements are coming out of desire. And how do you move without the desire? What is the state without the desire? Is it a dull state? Is it that you feel like you're lifeless zombie, or is it something else? Is it blissful? Does it have its own taste? We don't know. But the only way to know this is to find it out yourself. And that's the theme of this meditation today. Since you're all relaxed, I thought of cutting short the relaxation part and moving on to this visualization, which puts you into the space of desirelessness, in the space of silence. When everything is answered, when you have that perfect life, what does it mean? And when we achieve that, we stay in silence. So how do we do this as a meditation technique in the next 20-25 minutes? We take first 5 minutes just to summarize in our head, what do we actually want? Take your time, pick up the most main topics in your life where you think you actually really want this to happen in your perfect life. Then for the next 5 to 10 minutes, we will go into this visualization where we will try to subject ourselves into this imagination that it has happened. And while we do this, the trick is to not get caught up in the fact, how did it happen? Why did it happen? Or this is all imagination, this is all a joke. All these things would come up. You just have to ignore them and subject yourself into this state for a few minutes. Try this. You have never done this, I hope, in your life, or have you ever done something like this before? No. So give it a try, and just for 10 minutes, and then afterwards we will sit in silence for another 10 minutes. And if you are silent enough, I'll guide you into bringing your awareness to your navel center. There is a reason why we do that. When we are completely silent, when you are in that state of desirelessness, your energies, your life energies become available to your consciousness. Which means when you then become aware of your navel center, once you're completely silent, when you are bringing your awareness to the navel center, meaning you can imagine a point 2 inches below your navel, you bring your awareness there and you remain aware of that point. You remain aware of that center for the rest of the minutes of the meditation. So there is no, lots of movements in this meditation. It's very simple. You imagine what you want as a perfect life, then you imagine that it has happened without thinking how you reach to there, and then the rest is silent sitting and bringing your awareness to the Hara center, to the navel center. Is it clear how we are going to do that? Is it fine? Are you excited? Yes, please.
Just one thing with the body. So maybe if you are not sitting comfortable enough like this,
Sure.
you might, because I can see that some people are moving. So either like this, the posture, or like this, and that might be
Sure. In this meditation, it does not matter if you are sitting cross-legged or if you're not sitting cross-legged. What matters is that you are in a comfortable posture where you can allow yourself to go beyond just getting always disturbed by the body. So this posture, that posture with the half lotus, or how Christine is sitting. So whichever posture you take, except for laying down.
okay.
Sorry. When you lay down, your head is touching the ground, and the only thing that will happen is that you'll fall asleep.
I will not fall asleep. I just have some back problems. I will have some pain if I do.
All right, then if that's a must, then please go ahead. Generally, when you sit for meditation, the rule is that your back is straight, so that you are aware, you're not falling asleep. And if you are feeling that you cannot sit for very long with your back, you can take rest next to the wall, you can use some support, but don't put your head next to the wall. That's the only criteria. It's a very simple way of starting. Once you can sit for more than 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, then comes the part where you can fine-tune the postures, then it makes sense to decide whether you're going to put your hands on your knees or in your lap, what hand mudra will you take, what leg posture that you have. So all these things matter once you have crossed the stage where you're sitting for more than 35, 40, 45 minutes and you want to go into long, deep, silent sitting. So we start with closing our eyes. Taking a nice deep breath, inhale from the nose and also exhale from the nose. Keep your shoulders down, your back straight. And for the next minutes, breathe as naturally as you always do. While you sit in this relaxed posture, give yourself next minutes to summarize what is it that is a perfect life for you. Bring all your awareness to this question. What is it that makes a perfect life for you? Another few moments. If you have missed out on anything, just make sure you have all the ingredients for your perfect life. Now move into this imagination that all what you want, all these elements of your perfect life, they're there right now in your life. Everything that you want, everything that you desire has already happened in your life. You're living it. How does it feel inside of yourself when you have everything? Breathe in this situation. that you have everything that you need for your perfect life. Observe how your body feels in this situation. In this moment when you have all what you want. Observe how your breath is moving up and down, rising up and moving down. And go deeper into this feeling that you're living a perfect life. Allow all your energies to settle. Your body doesn't need to move anymore. Your mind can remain at rest. And you simply remain aware of yourself. Stay here in this awareness of yourself without any movement. Allow all the movements to settle, and you become more and more silent. You have everything that you ever desired. Now stay silent. Simply remain aware of yourself. Nowhere to go, no more movement. Stay awake, stay aware and silent. Now bring your awareness to your navel center. Observe all the sensations at your navel center. Keep your awareness at the navel center. Feel this center pulsating with energy. Hold your awareness at the navel center. Keep on breathing in and out as naturally as you always do. Allow yourself to completely settle in this awareness of the navel center. And now release the focus on navel center, and for just a couple of minutes stay where you are, as you are, silent and aware. And very slowly and gently, you may open your eyes. Last couple of minutes for any questions. Anything that you experienced which did not make sense, which would leave you with a question out of this session. Anything that you would like to ask? Did you like the meditation? Yes, Rika.
Maybe I would share my experience when you said that we have to think about the ingredients, and I choose like 3 ingredients, and then you said that, okay, then think of the perfect life with these ingredients, and I realized that I have these ingredients, and then I said, okay, but I have a perfect life, but how could this be more perfect? So what else, what else we have there? And then I added something which I might not have, but yeah, it's just how we are, we are always a bit dissatisfied, or we want always more. And then
Yes.
you realize that maybe you have it already.
First of all, congratulations that you have a perfect life. But the idea here was to even go one step ahead, and whatever you could think would have brought dissatisfaction, anything, like go to the very extreme of what you can ever imagine for yourself, what triggers desires in yourself from, it could be any subject of life, and see what that means. So I'm happy that you that you have a great perfect life. Anything else? Anybody?
How do you focus on your navel center?
You bring your awareness, meaning if imagination helps, you can imagine that there is a point below, 2 inches below your navel. If you want, you can touch, first of all, with fingers, and by that touch, by that contact, you can remain aware of that point. You can start with that. You can imagine that, And slowly you will start to feel that there is that point where you need to bring your energy. Another way of seeing this is when you breathe deeply, where your breath finally hits at the very bottom. That would be the center, but from inside. So when you want to visualize this from inside of yourself, that would be that when you breathe deeply, when the breath goes all the way down, where does it go when it hits the very bottom point? That region is where you need to keep your awareness. That would be for the navel center. How was it for you, laying down? Was it sleeping?
No.
All right.
No, it was good. Yeah.
Any comments? Anybody else? Did you enjoy the technique? Any wishes for the next session? You might have thought about meditation should be done this way or it should be done that way. Any particular wishes that you would like to have for the next session? You don't have to think about it right now. Maybe you can think about it later, write me or to Rekha about this, and we will use that as a theme for the next session. Meanwhile, yes, please.
I just want to say perhaps how to practice more kindness and love towards oneself.
Mm-hmm.
Towards yourself.
This is a session which we did last time, where we worked on these different attributes of our heart: love, compassion, joy, acceptance. And if you want, I have put that session on YouTube as well. I can send you the link if you, or just go to my channel and see that session. If that resonates with you, good. Otherwise, write to me and I can give you another more specific meditation on self-love, which you can practice in your own pace.
Okay, great.
Then thank you very much for joining this 2-hour long workshop with me and Rekha, and see you next time. Namaste.